Welcome, everyone. Our service today honors and celebrates the life of Lisa Freedman and will be officiated by Cantor Kenny Ellis. If everyone could please take this opportunity to silence your phones and any other technologies before we begin. Thank you.
Gam ki eilech, begeits al mavet, lo, 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 iraran. Gam ki eilech, begeits al mavet, lo, iraraki ata imadi. Iraraki ata imadi. Gam ki eilech, begeits al mavet, lo, chanted a portion of Psalm 23, which we can now do together in English in your prayer books on page 7. Together, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He guideth me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Tender as a father with his children, the Lord is merciful with his worshipers. He knows how we are fashioned. He remembers that we are but dust. The days of man and woman are as grass. They flourish as a flower in the field. The wind passes over it and is gone, and no one can recognize where it grew. But the Lord's compassion for his worshipers, his righteousness to children's children, remain age after age, unchanging. Psalm 103. O Lord, you have been our refuge from generation to generation. Before the mountains were born, before the earth was fashioned, from eternity to eternity, you are our everlasting God. Match days of sorrow with days of joy, equal to the years we have suffered. Then your servants will see your power. Then their children will know your glory. The favor of the Lord our God be upon us. He will establish the work of our hands. The work of our hands he will surely establish. Psalm 90. Fear not death, we are all destined to die. We share it with all who ever lived, with all who ever will be. Death is better than a life of pain, and eternal rest than constant sickness. As a drop of water in the sea, as a grain of sand on the shore, are man's few days in eternity. The good things in life last for limited days, but a good name endures forever. The words of Ben Sira. We have come together today sharing our sorrow to bid farewell to Lisa Freedman. We recall the blessing of her life. We thank God for all that was good and true in her life and for the precious memories which shall always endure. Eternal God, Creator, merciful Father of all, your children are now bowed in grief. Be gracious to those who mourn, for they are in distress. Bless them with your compassion. Ease their burden of sorrow. Send them light and peace. For it is written, fear not, as I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will sustain you with my power. And let us all say, Amen. Well, this is quite an unusual situation for me. I knew Lisa for many years. I didn't go to Grant High School, though I know this is the reunion today. I knew Lisa through shows. We went to shows, many theatrical musicals together. Not together, but I would see her there. We didn't go together. I was with my wife. And so we shared Sondheim, we shared musicals, we shared a lot of things, and we spoke on the phone many times about life and about things. So this is pretty difficult for me as well. I want to tell you that I've done a lot of funerals in the last few years, 30 years, but I never had a eulogy that was written by the decedent. Lisa wrote her own. She would like me to read this. This is called The Life Story of Lisa Freedman by Lisa Freedman. Lisa had a happy childhood in Los Angeles. Her parents were artists. She graduated college with a BA in psychology from San Diego State University. She was in a marching band. She played flute and glockenspiel, not at the same time. No. She was in a public relations organization. She took requisite tour of Europe upon graduation. Now, these are headings followed by what she did with them. The Waltons, Warner Brothers, Guardian for Jim Bob Walton. That's her role was there. The Comedy Store, she booked the talent. Great fun. Met the likes of Jay Leno, David Letterman, Robin Williams, Elaine Boozler, Sandra Bernhard, Michael Keaton, etc. Before they were famous. She was in the schmata business. She worked for the largest sportswear company in the country, did sales, merchandising. She loved it, and she loved fabrics. William Morris Agency. Talk shows, game shows, TV, movie department. Cosmopolitan Magazine. 6 years of celebrity interviews, lots of work, lots of glory. Had my first book published, Sex Talk. S-E-C, apostrophe S. Careful. Sex Talk by Price, well, I always keep a copy with me. You never know. Yeah, for those who never saw it, we have copies to look at. So Sex Talk by Price Stern Sloan, lots of fun, lots of glory. Did a book tour throughout California. It was very exciting. Owned an art gallery with 2 partners. No way to make a living. Fred Weissman Art Foundation. Very exciting, stimulating, educational, equivalent to getting a PhD in modern art. Hollywood Radio and Television Society, HRTS. Volunteer with this foundation for the last 6 years. get to hang out with the likes of Colin Powell, George Stephanopoulos, Ben Stein, Geraldo Rivera, Summer Redstone, etc. She also worked with Alan Mendelsohn from KCAL 9, the consumer advocate, and she produced with him the Best Buys TV show. You might remember that. That's around the time when I knew her. She also went to many Bruce Kimmel productions that were mostly musicals, and that's where I got to know her. Her passion in life was musicals, if you know. Her hobbies: painting, soprano recorder, gardening, tennis, Dodger games, politics. And her skills: proofreading. Wow. Now that would be a blessing or a curse. I proofread for people. Yeah. Favorite TV shows: Boston Public, Ally McBeal, Once and Again. Shows I wish were still on: It's Like You Know, Seinfeld, and My Little Margie. You're not old enough to remember that. Get away. Oof. Dreams in life: to write the quintessential chick flick with Gail Parent, Nora Ephron, and Carrie Fisher. Design a flattering blue jean for women. Edit lyrics for a musical. Yeah. And here, her motto was, don't let anyone tell you it can't be done. So, for those who knew her and those who didn't, she was lively, fun, intelligent, interesting, delightfully nutty, and deeply caring. Lisa touched so many lives and will be greatly missed. At this time, I'd like to call upon her sister Karen to come up and say a few words. Karen.
Well, that's okay. I don't have too much less to say. Maybe it's just my cable life. But when this was all going on, being here, it all reminded me of an episode of SVU. Several episodes of SVU. Maybe Mariska would appreciate. Okay, these are just little things about my family. My aunt and my sister both acquired the Martha Stewart, Amy Vanderbilt gene. You know about that. They both tried to pass that on to me, and they got really annoyed if I didn't follow their right what they wanted me to do, right? Okay, these are very short things. They became very frustrated when it didn't always seem to go the way they wanted. Okay. I know she really enjoyed going out to eat and attending charity events. She really enjoyed throwing big dinner parties at the house. But it really bugged her when I didn't even like the condiments she had. Okay. We both grew up with show tunes and musicals going back to the 50s. But I think her favorite was Stephen Sondheim. We both learned to appreciate good art. And for a while, we were really annoyed when they'd schlep us around all our art shows and galleries. But now we really appreciate, I think. So our talent in certain areas were better than in other areas, right? Okay. My closing, just another short thing. Through her work and PR and things, she met Tommy Lasorda. And she was a huge Dodgers fan. She went to all the games and they became friends and they stayed in touch for many, many years. There were a few more things I can't really, but I don't really have a closing, so if anybody wants to add anything, then, feel free to do so. Yeah, nobody's listening. You want to say something?
Yeah, after you're done.
What?
When you're done.
I think this is real
Oh,
fun.
okay.
Yeah. Okay, very nice.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Karen. At this time, we'd like to call upon our friend Lisa Gonzalez.
Karen knows this was painted by her father, Elliot Freedman, and this is Lisa as a little girl. If you ever been to her house, she always said, my house, I have 100 people in my house. She didn't have 100 people, she had 100 portraits that her father had painted, and I have pictures of them all over the house, and the dining room table was full of pictures of Tommy Lasorda and Colin Powell and all the things. But this one I had when Lisa was in the boarding care the last, this year. This was in her room, and also a painting that her father did of her grandparents, which was really nice of the grandparents and her mother and father. So I want to thank you, Karen. Before Lisa's family moved to Khalifa Street, and I think almost everyone here probably has been to the house on Khalifa Street, it's where Karen grew up, and Terry lived across the street from them, and some of you knew her from there. She lived, her family, Gloria and Elliot. Lisa will be buried next to Gloria. Her father is at the VA memorial because he had a Purple Heart. So, but before they lived on Khalifa Street, which Lisa lived in most of her life, when she was a child, she lived with Karen there, and then after her mother passed away, she moved into the house. So she's been there for many, many years. But they used to live on Bluebell, and that's where I grew up, near Howie and Freddie Lavine, and we went to elementary school together. So I actually went to nursery school with Lisa, and she used to joke that I wouldn't take naps in nursery school. Yeah, and it's true. I still don't take naps. But we went to Grant High School together, and we both played the flute and the glockenspiel. And the only reason the two of us played the glockenspiel is in marching band, you had to wear the uniform that the marching band guys wear. But if you were a glockenspiel player, you had more of a drill team kind of a skirt. So Lisa said, let's play the glockenspiel. It's like the piano. But this way, I said, I can do it. It was heavy and it sticks in your stomach. And she actually has one or two on Khalifa Street. And she also has a lot of recorders. Some of you remember she used to love playing recorders. I have about a dozen of them in my trunk in the car. So after the burial, if you'd like that, you can take one of her recorders. I also have, if you don't have her book, Sex Talk, I do have lots of copies of that. That was at her house too. And you can help yourself. I'll just open up my trunk for business after the ceremony. Everyone knows Lisa loved musicals. She loves Sondheim, and I'm so happy the people here. Lisa did plan her funeral, but she planned it years ago, and I was given instructions, and there was a file, and I found the obituary kind of stuff. It was really her life that she wrote, that the cantor talked about. She also planned her funeral, the music that she wanted. She gave me the name of the singer. Okay, I didn't know him, I knew of him, and I didn't know how she knew him. I contacted him. And I said, sorry, Lisa passed away, and she wanted you to sing this song at her funeral, which is Sunday. And he wrote back to me, and it was a really touching note. He said, you don't know, but we have a broken relationship, and I'm not the one to sing the song to her loved ones. So I, understood. Richard Price, who has been helping me and Fred to take care of Lisa, the words to the song she wanted. So it's not going to be sung by the person she wanted, but you can read the words, and it talks about "Until I Die." And so you can read the words. It's Sondheim, of course, and it's from "Merrily We Roll Along." Has anyone seen "Merrily We Roll Along"? Okay, if you haven't, it's on Netflix. Okay, and it's a production with Jonathan Groff, who she loved, and Daniel Radcliffe. Okay, so if you have Netflix, I suggest you watch it. It was an interesting choice. I'm not a Sondheim fan, but I did watch it knowing that this is what she wanted. And it's a story about friendships and relationships and life. And as the cantor knows, it starts at the end of their life when they have broken relationships. And I can't spoil the ending because it ends with the end. And then it goes back, merrily we roll along. It goes back to their childhood, their youth, when they were friends, when they became friends, when they first met, which, I met Lisa on Bluebell. Some of you met her at Munlocks or wherever. So it's an incredible thing. And she also picked what she wanted on her gravestone. It is from another musical, but a musical that I enjoyed. It's a chorus line. And it's the finale of Chorus Line. It's not sung by one person, it's sung by the whole cast. If you want to listen to the song that she wanted at her here today, you can listen to a nice, softer version, Carly Simon. If you want to listen to a louder version, it's Bernadette Peters and Jonathan Groff. So you could just Google Not a Day Goes By from Merrily We Roll Along. So what she wants on her gravestone, we'll be going up there, the stone isn't there, was from the other musical, Chorus Line. The finale, one singular sensation. And that was Lisa, okay? So I want to thank you for going back to when we had the friendships and for really being here today for her, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. I was told that you knew each other before kindergarten.
Yes, nursery school.
Nursery school. Anyone here from the nursery school? Okay, just checking. Our next speaker will be also a wonderful friend, Richard Price. Richard?
Hi there. Okay, well, I didn't go to nursery school with Lisa, but we did go to Millikan Junior High for 3 years and Grant for 3 years. Well, allegedly, anyway. I honestly don't remember ever hearing her name during those 6 years. So I didn't meet Lisa until 2002 as she was tracking down classmates for our 30th reunion. I responded to her email, and then she responded to mine. I tend to be kind of wordy and write a lot, and Lisa wrote a very long response, and then I responded to her response, and she responded to mine. And at some point, we decided we probably should meet in person. I think you'd be hard-pressed to find two people from our class who seem to have less in common than the two of us did. As far as I could tell, we really only had two obvious things in common. We were both Jewish, and neither of us had gotten married. I had never met anyone like Lisa. She was into style and fashion and decor and art, and she was a social animal who'd strike up a conversation with anyone. If you were in her grocery store line, she'd know all about you by the time you made it to the register. She loved going out on the town. She went to plays, to parties, to big events. And then, of course, the photos at her house just really blew me away. I remember seeing one with her walking in the Dodgers dugout, and Vince Scully is just casually walking by her in the other direction. It was pretty amazing. One thing I noticed early about Lisa was that she'd often refer to people's astrological signs. I assumed that was her cute kind of conversation starter. It never dawned on me that she might actually believe in astrology. So I may have said something to her about how there's never been a credible scientific study that found any validity to it. Turns out it was a big mistake for me to say that. I got my first taste of a really pissed off Lisa Freedman. And believe me, she went for the jugular. That was maybe 6 weeks after we met, and I was certain we'd never talk again. But the storm passed and we moved on. Sometimes we moved on to another storm, but that's just what you got with Lisa. I guess I had a high tolerance for pain. Or sometimes I was afraid that maybe it was more of a strong masochistic streak, because I couldn't resist pointing out to her how a lot of her conversations went. I'd be with her a lot, and she'd always meet new people, and it was very standard that about 5 minutes into the conversation, Lisa would say, "You're a Gemini, aren't you?" And then the person would say, "Well, no, I'm a Capricorn." And then Lisa, I swear to you, would always have the exact same response. "I knew it!" So she was never amused, by the way, when I said this story to her. She didn't like that at all. Lisa concluded early on that romance was not in our cards, and I had come to pretty much the same conclusion. I was just as much not her type as she was not my type. But I think we kind of intrigued each other, and the friendship felt very close from the beginning. For some reason, we just felt very comfortable around each other. Lisa would invite me a bunch to big events at the music center, or to small theater plays, or to fancy dinner parties. Things that I rarely did before Lisa, and she frequently took me out of my comfort zone, but it was very cool to have all these new experiences and meet all these new people. And whenever I'd need things like clothes or glasses, Lisa would insist on going with me so I wouldn't, commit fashion crimes. So we once spent a whole day going all around town to find exactly the right suit for my sister's wedding. This is that suit. That was, 25 years ago, and this is still my suit. And I wouldn't even consider getting new glasses without getting Lisa's seal of approval. Sometimes, literally, she dragged me to over a dozen eyeglass stores. I think she knew most of the owners of these stores until she found exactly the right ones for me. These are the glasses she picked out for me during the pandemic. And now I think I might have to keep these glasses for the rest of my life. The few times Lisa made the 40-mile drive to my house, she'd always improve my decor or correct something offensive in my house that I had done egregiously wrong. So if you come to my house and you point to something that you think is particularly cute or interesting, I can almost promise you that Lisa had something to do with it. She wasn't particularly adept at technology, so that was where I could help her. She was having problems with any of the technology in her house, which was frequently. I was there for her. So it was a symbiotic relationship. Since neither of us had a spouse or kids like most of our friends did, I think it was great for both of us to have someone to get dinner with, see a movie with, and even go shopping with. I hate shopping, but shopping with Lisa always provided some entertaining value I wouldn't have had by myself. I often tried to get Lisa to take road trips, but that wasn't her thing. But we did go to Las Vegas a couple of times, most recently in 2019. She had somehow managed to get a couple of free nights at the Palazzo. And so we went there together. And the trip actually turned out pretty well. I mean, it was a typical Lisa kind of trip. I won't go into details, but at one point, she ended up harassing Rich Little. And yes, he is still alive. And she was really dying to try the roulette because she's born on the 13th, that's her lucky number. We waited, I showed her how it was done, and she plunked down, I think it was $5 on Black 13. You're not going to believe it, it came up. And she got a wad of cash, and that was the only time she bet on roulette the whole trip. And then, of course, the most Lisa thing was when she checked out of the Palazzo, she found out that her free rooms, that didn't include the resort fee. I couldn't believe it. I just went away as she was arguing with them. And by the time the argument was done, they took away the resort fee. Who else could do that? Surely Lisa's greatest skill was in throwing parties. And soon after we met, a classmate was coming into town, and Lisa decided to throw a dinner party for him. Most people would probably just want to ask the people who were closest friends, but not Lisa. She wanted to carefully pick a mix of classmates, and she went through all these lists, where she thought, this is a chemistry that will work. And it was just so Lisa. And it turned into a really nice evening, complete with Lisa springing an obscene surprise on the group after dinner, which again, I am not going to go into details here about. But suffice it to say, we all had a great time, and the group immediately planned a second dinner, which was followed by a third. And I looked through my photos and everything before I came here. We ended up getting together 27 times over the course of the next 5 years. And in fact, in the middle of this with the pictures, the picture on the bottom is our group on one of those 27 dinners that we had. Each dinner was just a greatly anticipated event for each of us, and it really bonded us as friends. And none of that would have happened without Lisa. Lisa's biggest legacy is that she coordinated all of our class reunions. Between that and the Facebook page that she created entirely on her own for the class of '72, it's no wonder that so many people responding to the news of her death described Lisa as the glue that kept the class together. And there is no doubt about that. For me, Lisa became my closest pal, confidant. She was the person I'd call up or Skype at just about any time I had to talk, just about anything. And if I ever felt as depressed as I have felt this week, I'd call up Lisa. Without even thinking about it, she'd help me get through it. Everyone should have a friend like that. And I never took that for granted. But now she's gone, and I'm going to try to get along without her in my life, but it's not going to be easy. I just hope to hold on to my memories of what an amazing ride it was.
Thank you so much, Richard. This time we'd like to call upon another friend, Fred Lavine, or otherwise known as Freddie.
Yes.
Hey, Fred.
It's kind of hard to follow that. I promise I won't have you guys laughing here. I'm always the serious one. I don't have jokes or funny things to say. But as it turns out, I think the order was chosen properly. First of all, I wrote something. I was going to read it and try to read it and freelance as I can. But good morning. And what an honor to Lisa and a tribute to her that you are here today. She would be very appreciative of it. I often spoke with Lisa in planning the reunions. I wasn't at all of them. The 50th was scheduled for after tax season for me to be at October 22nd. And you know, these things are planned like a year and a half ahead. And lo and behold, my son gets engaged, and they choose October 22nd for the wedding, and Howie and I can't be there, couldn't be there. But we looked at the pictures afterwards, and we said, who are all these people? But Lisa and I would talk, I would make suggestions. She would say, no, Freddie, no, that's not what I want. But she knew exactly what she wanted. And yes, her legacy to our class is how she held the class together and the reunions that she prepared. And she poured all her energy and heart into those reunions. I remember for our 30th, how she fought with Sportsman's Lodge, or not Sportsman's Lodge, but the class reunion coordinator to the price has to be no more than $100. Well, it's going to be $110, $120. No, $100 or less. And it was $100. She even asked people, and you don't know this, but she did ask people for donations to help those who couldn't afford to be there. So they would have their ticket and enjoy their time. Shortly before that 40th reunion, she wrote an email to the class. And for those of you who retain your emails, April 2nd, 2012, at 12:28 p.m. And I'm going to read it. So these are her words, and I think they capsulize who she is and why she did what she was doing for our class and how she felt about people. And I'll close with some other comments at the end. As your reunion coordinator, I am in the incredibly privileged position of being able to get to know many of you on a wonderfully personal level. What a great gift for me. I got to know about your lives and your joys, but also where the bones are buried. And you can rest assured your secrets will go with me to my grave, which, by the way, will be at Mount Sinai in Burbank. But there is something I have been privy to, too many times over, which I want to share with you. As excited as we are about our reunion, for many in our class, there are also some fear and nerves attached. I had them. It can be due to obvious stuff like weight or wrinkles or success level, but the biggest fear I hear is that when attending the reunion, there is worry that you are going to revisit some negative feelings that occurred during your school days. And at this time, I'm going to interrupt something for a second. Canner, I'm ignoring the lesson you gave my 3 kids. Put your notes on top of the page and leave the bottom of the page blank, because my head is going down as I'm reading. So, I'm sorry. So if you see my head going down like this, it's not because of my posture or anything like that. It's only because the words are going down here. Here we go. Where was I here? But the
other
big
things I said, always keep your finger on the spot.
I hear is that when attending the reunion, there is worry that you are going to revisit some negative feelings that occurred during your school days. Most of us seem to have either liked or hated high school. I don't hear as much from the people who liked it, but I hear continually from those who felt they had a bad high school experience. For me, I was one who had a good experience. And so the thing I want you to know is you are not alone in that feeling. Keep in mind, this is 3 or 4 months before the reunion, and she's trying to convince as many people as possible to be there. That was her goal. It may have been that you felt isolated or had bad grades or felt you weren't popular enough or not cool enough or felt unliked by classmates or been bullied by other students or been bullied by teachers or had a crappy home life or your parents were divorced or dead or there were sibling issues or financial problems or embarrassing acne or insecurities or you were secretly gay or had drinking, drug problems or too little self-confidence, among other negative issues. I could go on and on and on. These are buried in her privy information, privy conversations. But it's now 40 years later, here we are today, 54 years later, and you are really no longer the person you were in high school, but neither are your classmates. We've grown older, and we've grown emotionally too. But lots of our groups still too clearly remember how they felt in school. And many are afraid that those same feelings might turn up at the reunion. Again, you are not alone in that feeling. I've been planning our reunion since the 10-year, so I can tell you that I have almost never heard of anyone who did come to a reunion and regretted it. Au contraire, it can turn into the most needed, blissful catharsis. I've heard that some who were enemies and came to the reunion are now wonderful pals. We are in the same boat, more or less. There is not one person among us who doesn't have a story, a problem, or some type of an issue. Along with the normal male-female aging health issues, here are some things your classmates have had to deal with. Cancer, arthritis, weight problems, back problems, ALS, Alzheimer's, HIV, lupus, chronic marijuana addiction, illegal drug addiction, sleeping pill addiction, alcoholism, brain damage, memory problems, suicide attempts, mental illness, vision problems, hearing problems, bladder problems, add depression, dyslexia, psoriasis, marital problems, spouses with illnesses, financial problems, housing problems, aging parents, Holocaust survivor parents, children problems, and more and more and more. These are things that she was hearing from our classmates and friends from other classmates and from other classes. But you and I are still here. And on the August 4th weekend, we need to make hay while the sun shines. As we are today, my personal comment, we need to make hay now. At the time, we have 80 deceased classmates, plus one. You have said to me, "Oh, Lisa, you loved high school. Your experience was different from mine." Well, I did like parts of school. I liked the social aspect of having tons of people around me because I just love people and always have. And I cherish being in the marching band, despite being a very average musician. But otherwise, my grades weren't anything special. I rarely felt connected to any of my teachers. I had little to inspire me, no great career models, and a compromised family dynamic. And to add insult to injury, do you think even one guy asked me to the prom? No. I had to have a blind date for the prom. No lie. Thanks for fixing me up, Barry Settleson. May he rest in peace. No, I had to, no, I have my finger moved. Then, to add insult to injury, I went with a gal pal to grad night. I really want and hope to see you at the reunion, and I want you to plan on having a total blast. People will be happy to see you. People are going to remember you. Just make sure you wear your name badge, because people do not look now as we remember them. And once you are there, there won't be time for you to cough up any old negative feelings because you'll be too busy to think about them. Lisa then closed by inviting the class to share their thoughts and comments. And the comments were extremely positive to Lisa, thanking her for the encouragement and convincing many to attend, who otherwise would not have. I believe we had close to 500 people there that night. I want to thank Richard Price, and Lisa Gonzalez for their unlimited and relentless time and energy that they spent helping Lisa. Just don't know how much time they spent. I'm just a minor three-legged stool. I'm the one they could have done without. At times, the stress and pressure and our sense of helplessness were unbearable. But as Lisa said, in quoting Gloria Vanderbilt and closing her email to the class, we are not here to see through each other. We are here to see each other through. Intuitively, during this long journey, we are taking Lisa's advice and continue to see each other through. And we will continue to do so. Lisa ended her email to the class. Love always, Lisa. Thank you.
Thank you, Fred. Gosh. How do you follow that? I know it's not in Lisa's rundown of today, but I thought I would sing something from Stephen Sondheim. Isn't it rich? Are we a pair? Me here at last on the ground, you in midair, sending the clowns. Isn't it bliss? Don't you approve? One who keeps staring around, one who can't move. Where are the clowns? Send in the clowns. Just as I'd stopped opening doors, finally knowing the one that I wanted was yours, making my entrance again with my usual flair, sure of my lines, no one is there. Don't you love farce? My fault, I fear. I thought that you'd want what I want. Sorry, my dear. But where are the clowns? Quick, send in the clowns. Don't bother, they're here. That's for you, Lisa. Please rise as we do the El Mala prayer. Thank you. El Mala Rachamim Shochem Bamromim Hamitzei Menucha Nechona Tachat Kanfei HaShchina B'mahalot Kedoshim Utehorim K'zohar Harakia Mazhirim Et Nishmat Elisheva Bat Eliet Ve'Gloria Shachal Olama Began Eden Tehei Menuchata Ana Bal Harachamim Hastireha Beseter Knafecha Leolamim Utzror Bitzror HaChaim Et Nishmata Adonai Hu Nachalata V'tanuach B'shalom Al Mishkava V'nomar Amen. O God, exalted and full of compassion, grant perfect peace in your sheltering presence among the holy and pure to the soul of Lisa Freedman, who has gone to her eternal home. Master of mercy, we beseech you, remember all the worthy and righteous deeds she performed in the land of the living. May her soul be bound up in the bond of life. The Lord is her portion. May she rest in peace, and let us all say, Amen. You may be seated.
Family, friends, and loved ones, in a few moments we'll be leaving the chapel to start our procession to Lisa's final resting place. Following behind the casket bearers, we will all be exiting through the doors on my left. And once outside, please make your way directly to your cars and wait there to be released into the procession by a Mount Sinai staff member. Please do not carpool to the site. And for any guests with mobility issues, please note that the terrain at the burial site can be uneven and rather hard to navigate. Should you need any assistance, please do not hesitate to ask a staff member at the site. A friendly reminder as well to please lock your cars when you arrive at the gravesite. Also, if you would like to continue these lovely tributes to Lisa's memory. Please visit her memorial page on the Mount Sinai website. We encourage you to make a community of shared memories there. Because our service is still in progress, I humbly ask you to grant each other quiet and solitary reflection while we transition to the graveside. There'll be time for offering each other condolences following the graveside portion of the service. The following have been honored to serve as casket bearers today: Richard, Fred, but also known as Freddie, Rick, Heidi, Carlos, and Steve. If everyone could please remain seated for a moment as the casket bearers come forward and we prepare for the procession. If everyone could please rise and follow us as we escort Lisa to the coach.
Oh, no, thank you.
Yeah, she's waiting for her. Yeah, we're gonna take her. Oh, and there's a new bag as well. I'll put it in the car. There's a new bag in there, and that's as well. This should be the car. Yeah, what rubber you see now? The family.